The Almajiri system of education is an ancient tradition in West Africa, established to ensure transmission of Islamic knowledge from one generation to another. The Almajiri system has over the years been deteriorating, with the system corrupted, exposing the Almajiri to social, economic and psychological deprivation.
Ya Almajiri, Enno, Saraka Sabora Allah.
They are the Almajiris. Often hundreds of kilometers away from their parents, abandoned in urban and semi-urban settlements of northern Nigeria, in the name of searching for Islamic education.
The Almajiri, as has been passed down by across generations, is that child. Of course, the original meaning means a traveler, something like that. But in the context of our society, it means a child or a young adult, a teenager who is attending the Quranic/Islamic school in order to learn the basics and advance categories of Islamic studies. Now, they usually leave their hometown to go and live with the teacher, usually in the urban areas. And once they leave their hometown, from the rural to the urban areas, they live with the teacher and render services while learning in a collective environment together with others. It is out of date with present reality, especially the aspect of organization and welfare. You have to know that the Almajiri system until now depended very much on the rote system. Pupils go in there, cram Islamic and religious text without the meaning until they reach advanced stages. Now, there is no form of skill acquisition that is attached to it. And that is the basis of my saying it is the system, the organization, the curriculum is outdated. Secondly, the social system, the social support system that used to be the backbone of the Almajiri system has been very much vitiated by modern development, especially things to do with greater individualism, higher rate of urbanization, higher rate of social problems, the need for skills and so on. So that the system in and of itself used to serve a purpose. But there have been other developments, which means such purposes can be supported in much more efficient and organized manner. So that that aspect, especially relating to welfare, is what becomes a social problem, not the Almajiri system itself, but its aspect that does not give skills and just depends on rote, that is cramming text and so on without much meaning, and then coming on without any other skill. That has become a major problem. And of course, there is the menace of the Almajiri on the street. The wandering for some people for arms has become a real problem to both the Almajiri and the community at large.
They beg to survive. Without absolute or near absence of basic social amenities such as shelter, healthcare, and proper hygiene, as well as parental care and control. The Almajiris end up on streets, living on scraps, and defecating in open place with no one to return to in times of need.
The condition is obviously pathetic. We can look at it from many perspectives. One, roaming the street is a waste of energy, skills, and talent. Number two, the living conditions, because the urban areas themselves are getting squeezed more and more. It's not good, so there are a lot of problems. The Almajiri learn things when you walk the street, you learn the street culture. When you cannot cater for yourself, of course, people tend to devise it. Now, you look at it again from the Almajiri system that these pupils are exposed to problems, medical, social, environmental, and all others. And then they don't get to acquire modern skills that modern society needs. For parents, you can say that is one way of escaping responsibility. We have to be clear that the principal target for the socialization of children, the responsibilities on parents. When they send them off to Almajiri school, they are devoid of their medical problems, clothing, food, and general welfare. So that the child from a very young age is forced to learn to live on their own devices, learn from others in the same environment, devise means of meeting these personal and other needs, and so on. So you can say the position of the Almajiri is one of great concern for the child, for the parent, and for the community at large. Now they live a life of deprivation, they live a life of difficulty, and they live a life that forces them to have to devise means for meeting basic needs and necessities.
As a result of continuous denial of basic needs and social orientation, the children are exposed to all forms of vices which constitute a serious threat to the community at large. And over the years, there has been the rise of female among the Almajiri. The phenomenon more associated with boys is seeing an influx of more girls.
The female Almajiri system is hidden. Up to now, we don't know much about it. It is hidden, like most things about female. Organizations such as Mallpai can study and let us know what it is. Secondly, the evils, quote unquote, of the system is well known. First and foremost, it has to do with the welfare of the children. Two, the welfare will include their medical needs and, more fundamentally, their environmental needs, where they live, how they live, and so on, taking care of their basic needs. These are very, very critical that we pay attention to it. Clearly, what is the philosophy behind some of the injunctions? What does it mean when you say God is everything? And then, of course, you turn around and contradict in behavior. You know, we need to look at the system itself. And furthermore, I think the system, those who run the system, the Malamai, the clerics who run the system, would need to be tackled and challenged to rise up to the occasion, to rise up to the needs of modern society and the need for reform. Obviously, there will be a lot of resistance. Most changes in human social organization come with resistance, but it's like a moving train. It cannot be stopped. We must do something through a combination of persuasion, through a combination of enlightenment, consciousness raising, and like I said, we need legislation. Legislation not just at what government should do, but legislation at what parents are required to do.
Combating these menace requires individual and collective efforts by stakeholders across board. This forms the decision of the Mallpai Foundation, a pet project of Her Excellency Haji Aisha Atiku Bagudu, the wife of Kebbi State Governor, to cater for the Almajiri and the vulnerable groups.
Non-governmental organizations such as Mallpai will have an important, critical role to play. One, studying and exposing the nature of the problem, its abuses, its dysfunctions, and so on. And putting pressure, it can serve as a pressure group to pressurize government, communities, parents, religious, and community leaders to do something about it. It has a role to play in conscientizing, drawing attention of those of us who may otherwise be nonchalant about the nature of the problem and what its implications are, not just for the victim, the Almajiri, but for other community members. Such organizations have great role to play in the transformation of the system.